there any way you can lose?
Yeah, if I don't show up. And that's the only way I can lose. And believe me, I will be there.
This is Daryl, Too Sweet Cody, 38-2, 28 knockouts, former #1 welterweight in the world, on the neutral corner with Jerry Sosa.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass. You won't do shit.
Hey, and welcome to the Neutral Corner with your host, Jerry. We got Daryl. Daryl's on the road traveling. He will be coming in. He'll pop in soon. But tonight's guest is no other than, before I introduce him and bring him on, a local legend in the sport of boxing, holds multiple records in boxing, over 300 amateur fights, 5 New England Golden Glove titles, and 5 different weight classes. It's an honor to have him on. I've been trying to get him on, and he's finally decided to come on. And I want to bring on Sucra, Ray Oliveira. Come on, champ. How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man. So how's everything? Good, man. We good?
I'm living.
Yeah, I like the glasses, man. I like those. That color's you, man.
Thank you. I'm a little classy with all my glasses. I ain't afraid to wear pink or anything.
Absolutely. Only real men wear pink, baby. Only real men wear
Here
pink.
you go.
So listen, real quick. We're gonna get right into it. Started boxing at 11 years old.
Yes, 11 years old in the Bedford Boys Club, Bucky Vincent.
Wow.
75-pound class was my first weight class.
You're just a little guy then.
Yeah, I was real little.
Absolutely. Over 300 amateur fights, 5 New England Golden Glove titles, and 5 different weight classes.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. How you got started, why boxing, and how did you get involved in boxing, and is there any other sport you wanted to play, but, you know?
Yeah, I always wanted to play football. I love football. I tried out for the Verdian Vets in New Bedford football, and I ended up breaking my elbow or something, so couldn't play that year. The following year, I tried out again. I hurt my leg.
Jeez.
Couldn't play that year. The third year, went for again, broke my finger. My mother finally said, "Hey, look, I'm sick of paying these hospital bills for you. So why don't you try a different sport?" I had a brother, Ronaldo Oliveira, well known in the area, who used to box pro with Marvin Hagler. So my mother goes, "So why don't you try boxing?" My father was happy. He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, hell no. I don't want to do that." So me and my father made a deal. He goes, "Look," he brought me to the Bedford Boys Club, to Bucky Vincent, one of the greatest trainers in this area. He said, "Look, you try it for a year. If you don't like it, you get out of it." I said, "Okay." So I went into the gym, Boys Club, went to go train, and I was sparring my best friend, Adi Mendes. He hit me with a body shot. I went down and ran home. I was like, "I am not doing this sport. I'm done. Hell, they're hitting me. No way." And my father said, "You told me a year." I said, "Okay." So I kept going to the Boys Club, but I wouldn't go to the gym. I was just playing basketball. Year was over. I said, "Dad, all right, you said if I don't want to box, I don't have to. I don't want to box." He goes, "You think I'm stupid? You never went in the gym."
I love it.
I was like, "Dad, but I don't like it." He goes, just try it." So my first fight, I heard the crowd yelling. And like I tell everybody, when you play a team sport, what name do they yell? The team.
Right.
And when you do boxing, what name do they yell? Your name. So I told everybody, I'm a selfish person. When you play a team sport, they yell the team. In boxing, they yell my name. So I said, right, that's the sport for me, because I want everybody to yell my name.
Awesome. And so you went, you got into it. They're screaming your name. 300 amateur fights. That's crazy. That's a lot of fights. Tell me a little bit about your amateur career and some of the ins and outs, and tell me when you got the name Sucra and where that came from.
That's a great story. Well, back in my era, we fought probably 2 times a week.
Wow.
Probably twice in a day. I remember fighting in the Nationals in Syracuse, New York, outside bout and then next bout, if you win, you're about 72B. You would fight 3 times, 2 times in one day. I was the era with the headgear though.
Yeah.
Before that, they used to fight without headgear amateurs. Then I was fighting. I fought Lincoln Park. My first Golden Gloves was the last year of Lincoln Park Ballroom, when they had the Golden Gloves with Vinny Paz and Marvin Hagler and all them in it. How I got the name Sugars when I turned pro. When I was amateur, everybody called me Sugar Ray. Not because I like Sugar Ray, I love him, but because whenever I had anything, I put a lot of sugar in it. So everyone called me Sugar because I love sugar. So when I turned pro, my third pro fight, the commentator said, what's your nickname? I said, Sugar Ray. He goes, oh, another kid wants to be Sugar Ray. So when I went home, I said, Dad, the commentator said that to me, and I like Sugar Ray, but I don't want to be Sugar. And he goes, so my mother said, why don't you pick Stingray? I looked at my mother, and there was this fighter that used to fight from Providence called Stingray. And I said, hell no, I don't want to be Stingray. He sucks. He didn't really suck, but to me, if you ain't me, you suck. So I said, my father spoke 7 languages.
Wow.
And I said, Dad, how do you say Sucra in Cape Verdean? He said, Sucra. How you say it in Spanish? Azúcar. How you say it in other Italian? Sucra. And every language I asked him, it was Sucra or Azúcar. So I said, I'm Cape Verdean. I said, so since I'm Cape Verdean, I want to represent Cape Verde, I'm going to pick Sucra. And that's why a lot of people, they call me Sugar Ray. And I go, oh, don't call me. He said, why? I said, because they said Sucra means sugar. But when you Google Sugar Ray, you come up Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
But when you Google Sucra Ray, only I show up.
I love that. And it's funny because I got a comment coming and he says, I love his attitude. I want to hear them yell and scream my name in capitals. So that's awesome, right? And that's what you wanted. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I always told people that boxing is it's a selfish sport. You have to be. You train alone. Yeah, you train with a bunch of guys in the gym, but you're hitting that bag by yourself. You're in the ring by yourself. You get up and run by yourself. It's a lonely sport. It's not for everybody. It's a hurtful sport. It's a happy sport. You miss your family. You miss your friends. You miss a lot of things. It's a selfish sport. You got to put yourself first before anything else.
Yeah. You must have sacrificed a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry. Were you going to say something? I mean, sacrificed a lot. 3 amateur fights. I'm sure you missed out on birthday parties, beaches, picnics, all kinds of family activities going on where you had to go to the gym and train. So it's not being selfish. It's you want the rewards for your hard work.
You're right. I call this. I lost I got a lot of kids. I got 10 kids, and
wow.
A lot of my kids are angry at me because I did put boxing before them. I missed birthdays. I missed graduations. I missed a lot of things. And, I say I probably did it to make their lives better. But, would I change it? I told you the only part I would change is that I would give more attention to my family.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I go, no, I wouldn't. I would always.
Right. And you were amazing at it. So 5 different weight classes. Was that because of growth spurts?
Every year, my first year in the Golden Gloves was 106. My next year in the Golden Gloves was 112. My next year was 119. The next year was 125. Then I did 132.
And you won.
Every year
And you
I
won
won
the Golden Glove.
Every year,
Wow.
yes.
Wow. So now I just want to touch on this because we're still staying on the amateur thing. In your professional career, you were known for throwing a lot of punches. In fact, you hold records, and we'll get into that. Were you like that in the amateurs? Did you throw a lot of punches?
I seen my father always taped my fights. I tell people all the time, all I had was a jab. That's all I did was jab.
Most important punch in boxing, though, Ray. Most important punch in boxing.
My coach, Mr. V, months, that's all he would do is let you that's the only punch he let you throw. You could not throw a right hand. The jab was all day. I didn't know I had a right hand until probably later on, in like 8, 10 months after my amateur career, because all I threw was a jab, and I got long arms, and my jab always came out like a whip. So yeah. I watched my fights. I'm like, wow, how did I win with just one hand? But I had a great jab.
and I'll tell you what, I think that's what's missing. And we'll get into this because I know we've talked about this. I think that's what's missing in boxing today. Today, right away, the kids want to get on the mitts and be fancy and dancy and pity pat on a mitt, but there's no jab, there's no double jab, there's no snapping that jab out. And I think that's the difference with boxing today. So I love that story you told, because when I speak with young people and I speak with people that are boxing, Mikey Goodrow and a few other amateurs, look, you don't realize how important that jab is. You don't realize it. You know what I mean?
No.
You can, like you said, you've won fights with just your jab. You can do that now in the pros.
Yes. Like I tell people all the time, the jab is an offensive and a defensive weapon. It sets up everything. You just can't go out there and just throw right hands. You know, power bomb. You got to set it up with the jab. And sometimes the jab will just open up them out. The jab is the first weapon that comes off.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. I hope you and I know when people watch this video later, and I want you to, if you got a young person in boxing, I want you to rewind it to this, what we're talking about, because it's so important right now. So we're gonna move into your professional career. You started in 1990. You had 60 fights, 47 wins, 22 by knockout, 11 losses, and 2 draws. And that to me is amazing, man. 60 fights. And wow. Tell me a little bit about, like, I mean, you don't see fighters today with 60 fights, champ. You don't see that.
No, you don't. In my era, you know, that's why people all the time, MMA is killing boxing. I go, no, MMA is not killing boxing. It's the people in boxing that's killing boxing. I had 60 pro fights, 300 amateur bouts. For 15 years, I think 10 of those years, I was in the top 10 in the world.
Wow.
And people right now will come out, turning pro, and they will have more fans than I had for my first fight. And I fought 300 amateur bouts. And these guys have thousands of fans in there. I'm like, damn, this kid must be good because he got 1,000 fans. Then they get in the ring and they fight, and I'm like, how does he get 1,000 fans? It's all social media.
Yeah.
We didn't have social media. We had to build ourselves 300 amateur fights to get people to know who I am. By fighting in not just local shows, but every show there is, and build by local papers and, you know, local radio stations, and you had to build yourself. Now people are building. I had to build myself by really fighting by social media. They're putting all their best aspiring on Facebook, or they're on YouTube, and that's how they're building it. They're not even fighting fighters. They're on media hitting the heavy bag. And
absolutely.
Look how great I'm going to fight. Come see me. You never had a fight.
Could you imagine
out of your house?
Could you imagine if you would have had at that time the social media? It would have been. You would have had. It would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. So let me. We're going to get into this because I know we talked, and I definitely want to get into this. But I want the people listening. We just had Matt Camara joining. He's got a question. We'll get to it. Sharon's got a question. We'll get to that. But July 1990, professional debut. You versed Joey Goss. Am I pronouncing his name right? Goss, Goss.
Yeah.
So you won by a second round knockout, dude. How'd you feel? First professional fight, debut. You come in, second round knockout. How you feeling?
I felt like I had my first sex.
I love it. I
was both scared and excited. I tell everyone, you get every feeling in every fight. You're scared. A lot of fighters, there's two types of scared. There's one that runs away and one that runs forward. I was the one that ran forward. So I ran forward, got the second round. I thought I could knock out everybody.
Right.
And it was just exciting. My father was there. My mother never went to my fights. She only went to one. My sisters and brothers were there.
Why was that? Why didn't mom go to any of the fights?
My mom did not. She wanted me to box, but she didn't want her baby to get hit.
Right.
But what's funny with my mother, because she would watch all my fights on TV. And I smacked me. Like, why you hit me? Why you had to hit that person so hard? Me too. She goes, yeah, but you can take it. They can't. So next time, taking it easy on them.
So that's an amazing story, man. So many moms out there. I'm sure they can relate. So I want to get to this one question that Sharon brings, and actually my wife, because she's a boxing fan too. Just to get back to talking about the social media stuff, she says it's a damn shame that the sweet science has turned into a social experiment. It's true.
She is 100% right.
Nice.
This is why I want to leave. There's a bunch of reasons why I want to leave boxing, and a bunch of reasons why I don't want to leave. And so happy why I'm doing this show, because I wanted to call it out to all these social media boxers. And I am, and I'm not putting Jake Paul in that. Why I'm putting him in that? Because he is social media. He built himself by social media. Us old, we had it. I always say all the time, I'm jealous that you guys got media. I wish I had it, because I'll be a millionaire right now.
Yeah.
Because I could really fight. I could really. I'm not that ugly. Oh, I would have sold social media like crazy. These guys,
absolutely.
They can't fight. They don't know how to throw a jab. They don't, which is the easiest and first punch you should learn. They're becoming trainers. I'm like, before how you a trainer? People go, well, you don't have to fight to be a trainer. I said, no, you ain't got to fight to be a trainer, but you got to know boxing. They don't know boxing. They don't know nothing. It's social media. That's why I believe social media is killing boxing. It's helping and it's killing it. A little bit of both.
It's like a double-edged sword. Yeah. So Matt Camara's got a question. Sticking to the Jake Paul thing, he says, "Do you think people like social media personalities such as Jake Paul, or is it bad or good for boxing today?" So, what do you think? You think Jake Paul's helping boxing?
I like Jake Paul, to be honest. He's doing what all these so-called boxers you see locally are doing. And what I mean, what they're doing is Jake Paul is fighting every great MMA fighter and beating them in boxing. Well, these other fighters are doing the same thing. They're fighting MMA. They're just jealous because Jake Paul got the media behind him. But Jake Paul's also putting real fighters on his card. He's the only one that's helping women boxing. I forgot her name. That she fights on his cards all the time. She makes $1 million every time she fights.
Wow.
No woman is making that. The only woman making it is her, and she's fighting on Jake Paul's undercard. He's paying. That's how he's helping boxing. But he's not. And everyone goes, but he's calling out this one and that one. He's calling out Mayweather and all that because he's making the money. You're calling out Mayweather, and you ain't putting butts in the seats.
Right.
Jake Paul's he's putting butts in the seats. He's fighting MMA fighters, but he's fighting world-class MMA guys who had world titles. Y'all fighting bum MMA guys that never been on and thinking y'all the greatest. So he's doing exactly what y'all doing. He's just doing better.
He's just being more successful, and people are getting a little jealous.
What I say it is, my opinion.
No, that's good. So let's try to get back because I want to touch on your professional career because I think it's an amazing career. Two-time NABF super lightweight champion. First, because you won it twice. So the first one was in '97. The first one was in '97 versus Charles Murray.
Yes.
So you won that in a unanimous decision. Tell me a little bit about the preparation for that fight. Tell me a little bit about what the game plan was going into that fight. Just tell me a little bit about it.
That fight was crazy because when I fought Charles, I knew Charles Murray in the amateurs, and we were always in the same weight class and the same, but we're always in different brackets. So we never got the fight. He always made it to the finals. I lost in the quarterfinals. So we never got the fight in the finals. I always wanted to fight him. So when this fight came up, I said, oh yeah, I'll definitely fight him. He was taller than me, longer arms than me. But I always, no matter what, I always said no. He said that. No matter, I don't care who it is. The only person probably got a better jab than me is Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. Anyone else? And I'm not a heavyweight, so I'll beat anybody at that. So when we fought my last day sparring, I broke my nose. I was sparring with Vinny Paz, and he broke my nose. So my coach was like, your nose is broken. I said, I ain't pulling out of this fight. I'll fight with a broken nose. So we fought with a broken nose. And I always said, you know what? Let them hit me. Let me get rid of the pain now. As soon as he hits me, if I go down, I go down. If I don't, he's mine. He hit me with a jab. I said, well, that didn't hurt. So he's mine. And I just kept backing him up and beating him with the jab. And even I can hear his corner saying, you're scared. You're fighting scared. This kid got you on your rope, your back heels. He's backing you up. You're scared. And I was telling myself, he's not backing me up. I'm just taking this to him. And I took it to him and beat him.
Yeah. And again, how important is that jab? How important is that jab? Now, you had a broken nose. Did you have a tough time breathing in that fight?
You know what? My mentality was so I'm going to fight that I didn't care. There's so many fights I had where I had injuries, and it didn't bother me 2 days after the fight. My mind was set that I'm going to fight. And I fought with a stab in my leg 3 days before a fight. And I fought. I got shot and I fought. I broke my hand and I fought. My brother passed away and I fought.
Wow.
I had no excuses. I was going to jail. I made a deal with the judge. All right, Ray, we're gonna let you fight, and as soon as the fight's over, you fly back home and you go to prison for 7 years. I went and fought.
Wow, what an amazing story. I mean, wow. Where you had every opportunity to give it up and quit, and where most people would say, you know what, he's got a reason. You didn't. You kept, Eric Thomas is a motivational speaker that I follow, and he always says, you never know how good you are until you come up against some adversity. You never know how good of a surgeon you are until you come up against some adversity in that surgery, something that you didn't plan, something that didn't happen. And that's exactly where you just kept persevering and kept pulling through. It's amazing. I'm so excited, and thank you for sharing that. You got shot in the knee.
Yes, I got shot in the knee. I'll never forget it. It was New Year's in New Bedford, and I was somewhere where I shouldn't be. I thought I was the man, you know, my chest out, and three guys, two approached me. I hit one, knocked him out. Hit the other one, knocked him out. The third one looked at me. I looked at him. He pulled out a gun. I chased him. Everyone's like, Ray, what are you doing? I said, I want to catch him and beat his ass. And everyone's like, Ray, come on, you messed up the party. It's okay. So I went outside. They come outside after me. We fight again. I knocked out the two guys again. So I looked at the third guy. I said, you ain't doing nothing. When I turned around, all I heard was, I went down. He shot me. I got rushed to the hospital. The doctor came. He said, all I asked him was, Doc, just answer one question. Am I ever going to fight again? And he looked at me and said, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if you're ever going to walk right again.
Wow.
I said, Doc, just do me one favor. Just don't replace my knee, please. Tell me my knee's still. He goes, I don't know till I get in there, but I'm going to promise you, I can't promise you you're not going to get a knee. Replace your knee. Because I knew if I replaced my knee, boxing was done. When I woke up the next day out of surgery, it just missed my knee by 1/4 of an inch. It was a hollow point shell, which they go in and they open up. So he said, if the guy pulled back 1/4 of an inch, my whole knee from my knee down, I would have lost my leg.
Wow. Wow.
He said, but you're lucky that you didn't use it. The muscles, your muscle, you got to strengthen up. I don't know if you're going to walk right. And I remember being in the hospital, and I read the newspaper, and the Standard Times newspaper said, Ray Oliveira just wants sympathy. And I sat there crying. And I said, I don't want sympathy. I was wrong. The gentleman shot me. I'm not giving out his name and ranting on him. I was in the wrong place. But I don't want sympathy. I never wanted sympathy. I'm going to fight again. And I was in the hospital probably 2-3 weeks. And I got my clothes on. I walked out of the hospital. And they were like, sir, what are you doing? I said, I don't want sympathy. I'm leaving.
Wow.
So I left. I went home. And went back to Fall River. And I walked to the PAL with my crutches and went up all those 6 flights of stairs. And Libby said, what are you doing? I said, I'm boxing again. I'm going to train. And I did those stairs with my crutches and my leg in a cast. And I would just sit there hitting the bag in pain. And Libby just sat there shaking his head. I said, I'm going to box again. I don't care. And I went back to the doctors, and every day he was like, your leg's getting better.
Wow.
I said, yeah, I'm not a quitter. I'm not. That paper said I want sympathy. I don't want sympathy, but I don't want sympathy. I'm coming back. And I believe 6 months later, I was on national TV fighting. And from a guy who the doctor said, you'll probably never walk again, I was fighting 6 or 8 months afterwards on national TV.
Wow. Wow.
I don't, and if a gunshot ain't going to stop me, I ain't going to let nothing else stop me.
If more people had that mentality and that toughness is what it takes. Again, an amazing story. So is that the reason for the knee brace when we see some of your fights?
The truth to the knee brace was everyone knew I got shot.
Right.
So I wore the knee brace to tell everybody that's the leg that I got shot. So make me go to my right. Libby used to say all the time, if you notice in the videos, when you see my knee brace, you got to strap it on. I never strapped it on. Libby was like, why you wearing a knee brace if you're not really using it? I said, because I want them all to think that that's my weak side.
Wow. Wow. So it was just like a ploy. I like that. I like that.
They always thought that was my weak side, and he can't, that's his weak leg. No, it wasn't weak. The only thing weak on me was that I wanted to fight every day. Wow. I wasn't weak. I was strong.
So is it, and a listener just typed in, he says, hearing you speak about your career with such badass mentality, it's getting me all hyped up over here. So you're getting the fans all pumped up. And that's what you want. That's what you want. You didn't want sympathy. So is it okay to say that the Standard Times?
Yeah. We'll stand
fired you up? put that fire back? Or you already had it, but it
I
kind of
had
motivated
the
you.
fire. There was nothing going to quit me. I never listened to doctors, which I should have. I never listened to my parents, which I should have. I never listened to anyone, which I should have. I just, I was wrong. I was selling drugs. I was running the streets, being a pro boxer, and they just, woke me up that, that wasn't the life, Ray. You were such a great boxer. Why do you want to do that? So I put myself in that predicament, and they helped me bring myself out.
Right,
Whenever someone booed me, I always said, everyone thinks they're against you. I go, no, they boo me because they're cheering me. Like Muhammad Ali always, no matter if you come to cheer for me or boo me, you came to see me.
Right.
So I'm doing something right.
I love that. So you won the NABF title in 1997 against Chow Murray in a unanimous decision, and now you won it again in 2000 was against Vincent Phillips, right? Won by a majority decision.
Yes.
So now were these fights before you got shot, or were these fights after you've been shot?
After I got shot. Yeah.
Wow. And you came back and became 2-time NABF super lightweight champion.
Yes. When I got shot, it was early in my career. I probably had 8 to 10 fights under my belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about Vincent Phillips. Because I know you won that by unanimous majority decision. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who was a tougher fight? Was Vincent Phillips a little tougher than Charles Murray? I remember watching both those fights.
Neither one was.
Really?
To be honest, they both had the same style. In the style, great jab, but big right hands. They had the Tommy Hearns style, both of them. They were the next coming of Tommy Hit Me and Hearns. They both had they were both tall, long jabs and big right hands. And when I fought Vivian Harris, his trainer at that time and promoter was Lou Duva. So Lou Duva always wanted to beat me. Every time I fought his guys, I would beat them. So Lou Duva, Vivian Harris was undefeated, knocking out everybody. So when I took this fight, I remember Scott Pendleton saying, "Yo, Ray, you took this fight." I said, "Yeah." They were like, "Yo, that guy's gonna knock you out." I said, "Yeah, he's supposed to. I don't give a shit."
All right. My producer's for the gun here. So Vivian Harris, when you beat him, he was undefeated at the time.
Yes, he was definitely undefeated. Yeah, he was undefeated.
I think I got a little bit of the Vivian Harris fight. If my producer's looking for that fight to put up, I know you had sent me that fight. So if you could put that fight up, Blaze, that would be great. But I can't believe that, man. Shot in the knee, stabbed, come back, 2-time NABF champion in 97 and in 2000 is amazing. Is amazing. That's amazing. If you can't find that video, we'll get that video up when he does. But I want to go back. You are a 2-time IBO, which is the International Boxing Union World Title. You first won that in 2003.
Yep.
And you fought.
Saludos, muy buenas noches. Bienvenidos al tiempo de boxeo en Sportmanía. Este hombre que tiene las imágenes, 16 victorias, ninguna derrota. 13 victorias conseguidas antes del límite. Fíjense a quien tiene en la esquina. A toda una leyenda del boxeo, el viejo Luduba. Se va a enfrentar a un veteranísimo, a Ray Oliveira. 31 años, 37 victorias, 6 de ellas antes del límite, 7 derrotas y un combate nulo. Después una victoria dificilísima para Vivian Harris. En este combate celebrado el día 25 de febrero en Rhode Island. Pues todo preparado para que comience el combate, para que suene la primera campana. Sonó la primera campana.
Here we go.
Oliveira,
First
con el
punch.
calzón azul y blanco. Vivian Harris. El Púgil con el calzón rojo y blanco. Esos súper ligeros que vienen llegados a izquierda de Rayo Oliveira al rostro de Harris. Con qué velocidad ha sacado la mano. 81% de victorias antes del límite de Harris.
You can see the knee break on my knee. And,
Del pupilo de Luduba.
just gonna work that jab.
Otra vez vuelve a la izquierda. Ahora tiene que estar rápido para recogerla porque ya lo ven como contragolpea. Vivian Harris, rapidísimo con el 1-2. Rayo Oliveira se ha tragado las dos manos. Vivian Harris está metido en el combate. Rayo Oliveira. Cuando viene el jab. Otra vez el jab arriba. Gancho derecha al cuerpo.
No. I'm getting feedback here.
Derecha abajo, Vivian Harris. Metiendo bien el jab, la derecha ahora arriba. Rayo Oliveira. De momento no se ha metido en el combate Vivian Harris. No parece haberle cogido todavía el aire a Rayo Oliveira.
I can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I can see you throwing your jab. Let's, you can take this down now, please. That you can see a jab coming out there. I mean, that was a good fight. That was good.
Yeah,
going into that fight, how was the preparation? Knowing you're going into fight Vivian Harrison, undefeated. You know, he's got a lot of knockouts, got a lot of wins, no losses.
Every fight I had, I always said to myself, the fight is won in the gym. If your preparation is what it should be, which you go to the gym every day, you give your all. You want to be the first one in the gym and the last one in the gym. I wanted to be the one, honestly, that when I walked in the gym, not because I'm the prettiest, but because I'm the hottest guy in there training. Why? That's what I wanted to hear people say. I'm training hard because I want to be a world champion. That's why I'm training so hard. Because I don't got a family behind me. I got a whole city behind me. I got a whole state behind me. I got to represent my city of New Bedford and Fall River and bring these people all together and show them that we ain't nobodies. We may have been nobodies, but I'm making myself to a somebody that if I could do it, a kid from Potter Street in New Bedford, that anyone could do it. We could all do it. Right. I had drunks in my family. I had alcoholics in my family. I had drug dealers in my family, drug users in my family. But now we're going to say we got a world champion in my family.
That's crazy. That's awesome. And you know, it's a good story to show young people that no matter where your circumstances are, no matter what you're growing up, you are the captain of your ship. As long as you stay focused and you have the right people in your corner and
yes.
people that are encouraging you to do good, and you work your ass off, no days off, no holidays, no birthdays, you're in the gym and you work your ass off like you did.
Yes.
You get all these successes. And we haven't even got into them yet. We haven't even got into the records you set yet. We're just getting through the championships. And we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there to those records. I want to talk about those. So definitely. So you win the IBO world the IBU world title welterweight against Lorenzo Smith.
Yes.
Tough fighter?
No. If I won, they're not tough. Honestly, I always say my tough fights were everybody went to court for.
Right. No, I hear you.
Honestly, the tough fights were in the gym, training and doing. If the fight's easy. If you train easy, the fight's hard.
Right. We stopped him in the 6th round. He quit in the 6th round.
It was I was a good body shotter. I hit. John Skelly always said the first time he seen me was when I was in an amateur and I hit somebody with a body shot and dropped him. I think I was 100.
He commented the first time he seen you was like in 1985 or whatever it was when you were an amateur.
106 pounds.
Yeah. Could you imagine 106-pound Ray Sucra Oliveira, 106 pounds? Could you imagine? So you retired him in the 6th round, and then you won it again a second time in 2004. You started your boxing career in 1990. Here you are, still at it, winning championship titles. Look, tell me about. I'm probably gonna mess his name up because you won it again. You won it in Anna's precision. Is it Hacklet Lay?
Lou Hacklet.
Lou Hacklet. Okay, I got a Hacklet Lou. My apologies. So was he a little tougher because I know you went the distance with him? You did win it.
Lou was real tough, and the funny thing about Lou was he still complains to this day that I thumb him in his eye. He always says I was a dirty thumber. And what I honestly I did thumb him purposely. What happened was the first or second round he was complaining to the ref that I'm thumbing him in the eye, and I went back to the car and I told Libby, I'm not thumbing in the eye, but I'm going to thumb his ass now.
You're gonna say if you're saying I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so every time I threw a jab, I stuck that sneaky thumb out, and I kept thumbing in the eye. He was a tough fighter. That he wouldn't go down. I hit with a bunches of punches, but he would not fall. He kept coming forward. He was tough, in the sense that not that he was a tough guy to beat, but he was tough that he stood there and he gave me his all. And
he weathered the storm. He weathered the storm.
Yeah.
So here we go. In 2004, you challenged Ricky Hatton for the WBO super lightweight in London on pay-per-view. You lost by KO in the 10th round. That was the first time you were stopped.
Yes.
What did that feel like? That's what happened? Tell me what that felt like.
That was my most proudest moment, to be for real. There's always a picture I put on Facebook. Everyone, that's why I say social media is crazy. Everybody puts pictures of themselves doing great. Being happy, beating everybody in the box and throwing the best punch. And I always put the picture of me on one knee and the referee counting. And everyone goes, why do you put that picture? I'm smiling. Because when I went down, I took a knee and went down, and the referee went up. And I looked at the referee and said, I can't hear a word you saying. My both eardrums are popped. I'm just going to count to 10.
Wow.
And, I went down there. The London thing was such crazy. That's the fight where, of course, everyone knows I always used to get in trouble. I was a bad boy. And I went to court, and that's what the judge said, I'm going to give you 7 years to serve. But I'm going to allow you to go to London to fight. But when you come home, you got to turn yourself in. So I went to London, and me and Ricky Hatton got the same birthday, October 6th.
Wow.
The only thing is, he goes, Ray, we got the same birthday. I said, yeah, but you're 10 years younger. Shut up.
Wow.
And, I fought that fight at 135, where my whole career I fought at 140. And two boxers going lower in different weight classes is a lot different. So I haven't been there. I wasn't at 135 in 12 years. I started zeros on the paycheck. I said, I can make 135.
Yeah. You think losing that much weight took a little bit out of you?
No, he was just a better boxer.
Yeah.
I don't make no excuse. He was a better boxer. He was younger. He was stronger. He was hungrier. It was time for Ray Oliveira to hang it up and get out of boxing. I was his test to see if he was ready for Mayweather. That's what I was. And after the fight, I told him, I said, you are definitely ready for Mayweather. You're definitely ready for America. just don't fight Mayweather first.
Right.
We had a great, and when I came home, flew back home, both my eardrums were popped because he popped both my eardrums, and my equilibrium was off. That's why I went down to one knee and said, "I'm done. I can't even stand up."
Yeah.
And me and the judge made a deal that when I come home, I got to turn myself in on Christmas. He let me stay at home for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, turn myself in to go to prison.
Wow.
So when I came home, I went to court, and my eardrums were blown. I'm with my lawyer, and the judge said, "Ray, good fight." I said, "What did the judge say?" He said good fight. I couldn't hear. I said, "Oh, all right. Well, instead of me giving you 7 years, you like Martha's Vineyard?" I said, "What the fuck? Stop swearing." He goes, "I'm going to give you 3 months in Martha's Vineyard." I said, "Did I hear him right?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "They're going to give you 3 months in Martha's Vineyard instead of 7 years."
Wow.
I said, "All right, bet."
Right.
You know, like I tell everybody, I went to that fight in London, pay-per-view, thinking at that time, when I come home, I'm going to prison.
Yeah, that's that. What's that like, having that on your head?
When I was in the, Joan said it today, one of my good friends I helped, we had that mentality that when I'm in the gym, that's my safe zone. So I don't care what happens at home, in the streets, or out. When I get in the gym, I forget everything.
Wow.
That's my safe zone. So the gym to me was when I was in the gym every day. I mean, when I had a fight. When I didn't have a fight, I ain't gonna lie, you couldn't find me. I was running the streets. I had a fight, I was in the gym. And when I was in the gym, I was calm. I was the first one in the gym and the last one out the gym. So I didn't think about going to prison. I just thought about the fight. It was when the fight was over and I'm on the plane flying home. And I looked at Libby and I said, "I'm going to prison." He goes, "You're not going to go." I said, "Libby, I already made the deal. I'm flying home to America to go to prison."
Wow. And
but I never ran.
Years, that's a long time. So you're thinking 7 years, not knowing Martha's Vineyard, 3 months. So, and Sharon says that was a Merry Christmas.
It was a Merry Christmas.
Right?
It definitely was.
So let me real quick, because I want to get to the Emmanuel Augustus fight. Then we're going to move on to some rapid questions I got for you. But there are people chiming in. Dave Pelletier says, "Sucra, keeping it real." I love that. I think it's just, I'm always so proud to say my brother is a champion.
That's my baby sister in Texas. I love her.
Look at that. Thank you for watching. That's awesome. Another one says, "Is it difficult to concentrate when your corner is being so vocal and loud while you're fighting?" Are you hearing them, or are you just kind of zoned in?
That's the thing about my dad, which was Libby, Mr. Vincent, Peter Manfredo, John Scully. Those are and Papa Ray Drayton that worked my corner. I was a calm fighter. I was one of them fighters that when I'm in my dressing room, I'm listening to slow music.
Wow.
I wasn't a hard rapper guy. I was in my dressing room listening to love music. You would walk by my dressing room.
You have Marvin Gaye going?
Yes. Marvin Gaye, some New Edition, some Keith Sweat.
Right, Keith Sweat. There you go. Now you're talking.
You would walk by my dressing room and be like, "Is he having sex or boxing? What is he doing?" I would fall asleep 15 minutes before I got in the ring. Libby would tell everyone, "Leave him alone. He likes to sleep." I would just sleep standing up. I was so calm and collective that when I in the corner, all my trainers were calm also, because I don't work off yelling. I work off calmness. So if y'all screaming and yelling, what is the fighter going to do? He's nervous. But if you're calm and collected, the fighter is more calm. That's why as a coach, I don't scream in the corner. I'll scream while you're fighting, but when you come back to the corner, I go calm, relax. Yeah. You having fun? I'm having fun. Let's go there and do what we did in the gym, and you're going to win this fight. And that's how my coaches were. I was always calm and collective.
Wow. And it's funny because me and my son-in-law Justin talk about that. We did a video. He's a big race car fan, and we were talking about how similar boxing racing is, where guy come back to the corner. If the corner's all hyped up, screaming, and that the fighter feeds off that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the same thing when they're talking to the race car driver in the air. If they're screaming and screaming, you're not going to get it. Listen, I want to ask you this because I know you had planned to come back with Joey Spina, but before that, in 2005, you had your last fight was Emmanuel Augustus, right? So you lost in an 8-round stoppage, but there was an injury, right?
Yeah.
You got hit in the neck. So tell me a little bit about that.
I'm truthful. The punch never landed. John Scully was training me for that fight, and that injury was years of boxing. It finally caught up to me. My vertebrae 3 through 7 is bone on bone. While I was in the gym training, it happened a couple times sparring, and people, not John, wanted me to quit and not take the fight. And I'll never forget, John Scully was doing an interview and told somebody that I was in the gym and someone threw up the punch, and I went down and I was crying in the gym, and someone yelled out, he got to stop. He got to stop. And John Scully looked at him and said, Ray is one of those fighters that you can't tell him to stop. Telling him to stop is telling him to die. I'd rather die in that ring, get taken on a stretcher, than stop. So I gotta let Ray.
You're getting emotional.
I gotta let Ray go. He'll stop when he wants to stop. And during that fight, in training camp, a lot of mental things happened to that fight that my mind was not there. And Emmanuel Augustus beat me. He was, but that wasn't Ray Oliveira physically and mentally. More mentally. If you're not there mentally, you can't be there physically. And I was not there mentally at all. I didn't train the first time. I never trained for a fight. I was 20 pounds. I had to give my opponent every bit of money that I made, because when you're overweight, they tell you, look, you got to give me some money or lose weight. I was 20 pounds heavy. I said, you got all my money. I gave him $20,000, and I got just enough money to pay my training. But the punch didn't land, but the vertebrae 3 through 7 is bone on bone. And Steve Smoger did the best thing. He said, Ray, you're more than a boxer, you're my friend. And I got to stop the fight. So I understand. I wish I died in that ring that day, right? But as a real fighter, people know that I'd rather die in that ring than quit.
Wow. Ray. This is what I've said this many times, man, over 1,000,000 times, man. And it's like when people say that, even with myself, it's whatever position you come in that ring, you gotta live with it for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You gotta live with that. You gotta live with that for the rest of your life. And
exactly.
And it's like, and I'm hearing everything that you're saying, man. I'm like, 1,000,001 people wouldn't have took the fight based on you being in your position, man. But for you to have so much heart and courage, man, I'm proud of you for that, man.
Thank you.
Wow.
It means a lot coming from you. Another great fighter.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And he's a Dallas fan, champ. Don't forget, he's a Dallas fan. And you know what? I want to say this one thing, but if you notice, when that injury happened, Emmanuel Augustus didn't go to your head no more. He's kind of hitting you in the body. Did he know? I mean, that's kind of good sportsmanship. Tell me about that.
It was great sportsmanship, because I ain't gonna lie. If roles were reversed, I'm breaking your neck. I'm going after your head hurts, or I'm going after you. He saw something like, I mean, a lot of people see the referee let it go. No. Should the doctor have let that fight go? No. But they seen the hunger in my eyes, and they gave me a chance. I'm happy they did. They shouldn't have. I could have probably died or went paralyzed. And by him just going to my body, he for doing that because he could have really took me out.
A lot of respect for him. A lot of respect. I'm sure you gave him a lot of respect.
Hey, Jerry, neither one of y'all will believe this, what I'm about to say. Emmanuel Augustus has more ring experience than Bernard Hopkins.
Bingo.
Really?
Listen to what I'm saying. He has more ring experience than Bernard Hopkins, James Toney, Roy Jones. Listen to me. The boy can fight. The boy can fight. And he got so much experience. It's on his side. He has so many fights. But the guy can fight, man. The guy can fight.
Yeah.
Being honest, man. Don't.
His style. They call him the drunken fighter because his style is so.
Yeah, but the thing is, somebody look at his record. Look at his record if you want to.
He's got more losses than he's got wins.
Say it again.
He's got more losses than he does wins, right?
Yes, but the thing is, that was just all them losses is training camp because the boy can really fight, man.
He's a great fighter. His style is just crazy. Everyone calls him a drunken monkey, but he knows how to box. The guy is experienced. He knows why you do something, what to do against it. Like he said, he's very knowledgeable in boxing.
Yeah,
he would have been a great coach.
Really and
I want to move through this one really quick because you had planned to come back against Joey Spina, but I guess the second neurologist wasn't going to let you. He didn't clear you, but the first one did clear you.
It's kind of crazy.
How you feeling about that? Are you still disappointed about that?
I'm both happy and angry. Angry because I would have beat Johnny Spina. I would have beat him definitely, and happy because I could have really got injured. Maybe not that fight, but maybe another. I only wanted 3 fights. I wanted to get 50 wins. So it stopped me. The first neurologist said, "Yeah, is your neck injured, Ray? All the fights you had, yeah, your neck is injured, but it looks good and you've been training, so you're good." But all it takes is one doctor to say no, and it's a no. So it was weird because everything was all set. And then I got a phone call. I forgot who called me and said, "Ray, someone from New York. I just got a phone call saying that you're not fighting." I'm like, "Excuse me? I didn't get a phone call." They go, "The fix is in, Ray. Someone called me and said, you're not fighting. Would you be willing to take Ray's place for this fight?" Matter of fact, it was his opponent that fought him that day.
Wow.
And I said, "I don't know nothing." So I hung up with him. The next day I get a phone call. "We need you to go see another doctor." I said, "Why am I going to see another doctor?" "Because it's our doctor." I said, "But I seen the #1 doctor in the world, neurologist." He said, "Yeah." They said, "But we want you to go see our doctor." I said, "Okay, I'll go see your doctor." So I went to go see their doctor, did the same test the #1 doctor in the world did, my doctor. So the doctor, "Your neck looks good, looks real good. Are you capable of fighting?" "Probably are, but I'm not going to let you." I looked at him and said, "So I'm good to go, but you're not going to sign the paper?" He goes, "Nah, I don't want you to take that risk." I'm like, "Ain't the risk mine?"
Right.
"But I don't want you to take it," the doctor said. Wow. That's what got me upset and angry, that it's my risk for all these years boxing for everybody else. I mean, yeah, I got in the ring and did it, but I did it for my family. I did it for my fans. I did it for my children. I did it for New Bedford, for River. And for this one time, I wanted 3 fights, 50 wins. And they're telling me no.
Wow. Why did they want you to see the second fight? Did anybody's camp have something to do with that? I mean, what?
I took it as, and they told me that they were getting a lot of phone calls. "Why you went Ray Oliveira fight? You seen what happened in his last fight. Something's got to be wrong with his neck." And I kept saying, "Well, you let Tommy Morrison fight with AIDS.
Right.
You let, I forgot who else was it. They let somebody else fight with a heart condition. You can't let me fight because of my last fight in my neck. They didn't want, Fox was didn't want that on their. Fox was just building up, so they didn't want that on their shoulders. So they said no, and all it takes was one guy to say no.
Go ahead, Daryl.
Hey, Jerry, Justin got a very interesting question on there.
I see it. You want me to read it? He says,
No,
I would have boxed that New York was just right there in the doctor's office.
You said what?
You should have hit it with a couple. Yeah, look, Doug, I'm good. I can do it.
Me and him are going to say the same answer. He's going to say he would win, and I'm going to say I would win.
Hey, right. And that's too much respect, man.
Said,
Listen,
I see it now. So yeah, I was waiting for this.
It's very, and it made me laugh because I'm like, wow.
You asked the same question when we had Bronco McCott on.
Right. Listen, let me say this to you. Me and this man have tremendous respect for each other. Listen, we will be a fool to say somebody can beat us.
Bingo. Thank you.
Can't nobody beat him, and can't nobody beat me. So there's no difference. If he say, Daryl, I would have beat you, respect 100%. And the same with me. If I say I can beat him, he gonna say nothing but respect. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because that's how we're supposed to think.
Exactly.
Right.
But I tell you what, though. Like I told you before, if I was to fight him, he would get the best Daryl because guess what? I'm going to train. I know he can fight. I know he can fight.
You know what's so funny? I always said this. I would watch fighters that I'm fighting. I'll be like, they only throw 30 punches around. I throw 100. But when they fought me, they threw 100.
And I wanted to. You threw more. You got. So let's get right into this, right? Because we're a little over. The producer just told me don't worry about time, but I want to get into this. 1993 against Zach Pilati or whatever his name is. Zach set the record for the most punches thrown in a round. Do you remember how many?
We combined for 3,200 punches.
3,020.
There you go.
Okay, but you set the record. You got for the most punches thrown in a round. Also, you did set the record for the most punches thrown in a fight, right? And
I hold three records.
Yes, and so let me go through them real quick, all right? So it's 1993 versus Zach. You set the record for the most punches thrown in a round. You set the record for the most punches thrown in a fight. That's 3,020 punches. In 2000 versus Vince Phillips, you broke the record for most punches thrown in a round. 463 punches thrown in a round. You almost beat the 3,020. You had 2,989 fights, punches thrown in the entire fight. That's crazy, man. How do you throw so many punches?
I tell people all the time, I was scared. I always said, if I'm throwing, they're not throwing. But for some reason, when they fought me, they came in great shape that when I'm throwing, they're throwing.
Right.
You know what the best thing is for being scared? This is what people don't understand about being scared. If you scared, you would never ever get bit by that pit bull. If you're not scared, that pit bull gonna tear your tail up, man. So it's okay to be scared because when you're scared, you're gonna make sure you're all right.
A pit bull scared. That's why they
exactly
bite
all the time, right?
So I'm a pit bull. I'm scared.
That's right.
Like I told you, there's one that runs away and one that runs at it. I'm just scared that I'm going to run at you. I'm going to hit you before you hit me.
That's right.
So do you now? Those records still stand? No, they don't. Do they stand or they don't?
Excuse me. I broke them records.
No, you didn't. Hey, like this
look, I wish I knew the record was out there. I was gonna go after them. I wish I knew it was out there.
I think the one with Zach Padilla was broken by guys at 126-pound weight class. The one where I threw most punches in one round, I still hold that one. But there's one that I was old. The first one, everyone forgets that. When I first fought Charles Murray, we fought 10 rounds. I threw 1,111 punches in 10 rounds.
Wow.
And I always remember that. Wow. I used to always walk around during that training camp. I don't know why. I used to always walk around singing 1-1-1-1, 1-1-1, 1-1-1. It was just a dumb thing. So when I fought him that day, after the fight, my manager came up to me, goes, "Guess how many punches you threw?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, 1-1-1-1, 1-1-1, 1-1-1.
That's amazing, man. To have records like that, world titles. One of our Gilly says, "My arms would still feel worn out, rubber bands throwing at me." That's amazing, man. That's great. Ray, let me ask you something.
Both my shoulders operated on.
How many? How many times?
Only once left and once right. I heal real quick. I always been like that. My body heals. I guess because I'm black.
So let me ask you this now, because I watched you in an interview, and when I heard this, I laughed, right? And we're not going to get into the Hightower fight right now. So I laughed when I heard this. Tell me why you loved jump roping more than road work in New Bedford.
The same thing, almost.
Wait down. Hang on.
Because when I run in New Bedford, the cops are always pulling me over. Every time I used to go running, they would pull me over and go, "Ray, what you do now?" I'm like, "What do you mean what I do? Did you hit somebody? Did you?" I'm like, "No, guys, I didn't do nothing. I'm training for a fight, so I didn't like running. So, and also it's boring. Running is boring. So my manager would try, like he goes, "For every mile you run, I'll give you $100. I was like, "I already got your money. I don't want it." So then he said, "All right, for every mile you run, I'll have a girl at the house for you." I'm like, "That either." He goes, "What's it going to do?" I said, "I don't run. I just don't run." So I love
jump rope like an hour and a half. You be jump roping.
I would jump rope an hour and a half straight. If I messed up, I would stop the clock all over. So when I say I jump rope for an hour, I would jump rope for an hour straight, non-stop.
Wow.
See, jump rope. It depends on how like because jump rope and running is almost the same thing. You move your legs. You run in place.
Jump rope is a lot better though.
Right.
Because when you're running, you're on the pavement, and like I told you the time, boxers don't run. We jump. So why do I want to run? I'd rather jump rope. Because I'm boxing. I got my boxing style, and I'm jumping all day, boxing position. I love jump roping. I don't jump rope no more, but I tell my fighters all the time, I will out jump anybody.
Well, let me say this to the kids. All kids that's boxing, if you hear what Ray is saying, don't listen to that. Please go out there and run. they say Ray don't run.
We got somebody. We got Dave Pelletier. Go ahead. So we got Dave Pelletier saying, "Hey Ray, the thing I admire about your career is fighting 15 times in a 3-year span. How hard of a grind was that for you?"
Oh, to be honest, know why I fought so much? Because if I wasn't fighting, I was going to jail. So my man just said, "Keep this kid busy, because either he's going to jail or he's making a baby." So if we keep him training, which is the truth. I have 10 to 12 kids. Wow. I've been to yeah.
You're like, what?
Wait. Hey, listen. In making babies, you're the champion of the world.
Oh, you give me that. So my trainer and manager always said, the more we keep him in the gym, the more he's fighting, the more he's not getting in trouble. So boxing helped me in that sense, and I love boxing because of that. Or in prison.
Wow. So Ray, I got a question from a fan. Hey Ray, got any good old PAL stories that you're not that are not related to training?
Oh yeah, I got a real good PAL Golden Glove story. I remember I was pro at the time, and I'm at the PAL watching the fights, and some kid lost or got knocked out, so they're leaving the ring, and Scott Pemberton from New Bedford, another good box from my area, was there. Yeah, Sandman, and they started talking junk to Scott. So everyone knows Scott. Scott got a right hand. Scott hits the guy. As soon as he hits the guy, everyone starts jumping on Scott. Who comes coming into the house rescue? Me, Ray, 140 pounds. I'm jumping in there, throwing punches. All the cops come. What do they see? The only person they see is me with no shirt on, yelling, "Let's go, motherfuckers." Ray, you gotta go. I'm like, I didn't even start it. They all did. But you're the one with the shirt off yelling. I'm like, God, so I got arrested for that.
Jeepers. That's a good story. Hey, Ray, let me ask you this. Who was your biggest inspiration in boxing?
What do you mean by inspiration?
Who you looked up to the most? Who did you admire the most? I know you had your own. Wow.
I always said this. I love Sugar Ray Robinson. I love Sugar Ray Leonard. I loved Muhammad Ali. And I admired him. And then there were guys in the gym, Jimmy Sweets, Andre McCoy, Snooky Covey, Earl Miranda, Steve Miranda, all kind of guys. I always said, I want a piece of that one. I want a piece of that one. I want a piece of that. I never looked at one fighter and said, I want to be him. I always said, I want a piece of everybody, but most of me. That's how I always was. I said, I never walked in and said, I want to be like that one. I said, nah, I want his jab. I want his charisma. I want his jaw. I want his right hand. But I want my mentality.
Right. Good. Yeah. I like that. So my Hightower fight. He's got the Hightower. My producer wants to get and play that. I want to watch this fight right here. A little bit of the fight. He should be putting it up. Sharon says, "Hey, Daryl," but here we go.
Hey, how you doing, Sharon?
So, Robert Hightower, Ray.
Yes.
35.
Is that 11-8 or 11-0?
I think it was 11. I don't know what that was. I didn't get to see it. Was this a tough fight for you?
No. I mean, I stopped him. I forgot what round it was. I stopped him with a body shot.
Yeah.
What weight was this? What weight was this, Ray? 40?
That was 135.
35. Hey, you see, I
Watch
said
his
35
jab
first.
on Daryl. Watch his jab.
No, but I'm look. But you know, I said 35 first, man. I can look at him and look like he's 35.
Yeah.
Man, say 35.
Look at the stare down. He wins it right here.
I never looked into a man's eyes. Know what I was looking at?
His nose.
His nose.
His nose. I told you. Hey,
I always told everybody, I don't look at no man in the eyes. I only look women in the eyes. I looked at his nose.
Wow. So you're getting ready here. Yeah. Here we go. He came out ready. This was at Foxwoods, right?
Yes, that's the bingo hall. They first opened up.
I look at the head movement. I mean, you would just, Daryl, look at this. The jabs out there, the head movement. I mean, good defense. Ray, you were
keep the hands up high. Keep the hands high.
This is good. This is good. I like the little tassels on your shorts. Is that to try to get his attention, his eyes to look that way? I mean,
I was trying to be pretty.
Okay. All right. No, that's fair.
I'm honest.
Yeah. No, I love that. You got good movement too. Good movement.
I always early in my career, I would let fighters come after me. I was a good boxer, so I let fighters come after me and try to, work off them. Connect.
Yeah. Champ, what do you think about the fight there, Darryl?
Well, I'm looking, man. I'm looking at him, man. Ray looked pretty good, man. Ray looked pretty good. But when you I don't really know the guy he's fighting. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if he's class A, class B, class C. I don't know. So I got to judge based on who he's fighting. So I don't know this guy he's fighting.
I gave him a B minus.
B minus. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I think it was Shane O'Grady. This wasn't on Tuesday Night Fights. I don't know.
Yes, Sean O'Grady. Yep,
Sean O'Grady.
Tuesday Night Fights.
He said that this fighter was not going to be a stepping stone anymore. He was coming to fight. He prepared for this fight. He trained hard for this fight.
He was on a 6-fight winning streak. But who were those 6 fights he fought?
Right. You won 13 fights in a row before you lost, right?
Yes.
I won 28. I won 28 in a row.
My first loss was to Reggie Green, I think.
Yeah. He was in your stable, right? Reggie Green, was it, Darryl?
No, I was boxing. Yeah, Reggie was in my stable. I was boxing Reggie every day for that fight because Ray was kind of tall, I think. How tall are you, Ray?
I used to lie and say I was 5'11". I was really 5'10" and a half.
He's honest.
Yeah, I boxed Reggie to get Reggie ready for that fight. Yeah.
So
How tall are you?
5'11".
Are you lying?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So so you were training with Green for Green to fight, right?
Yeah, I was. Me and Reggie had the same managers and same trainers. We had the same everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Remember Steve Berline?
Pretty cool. Yeah. All right, here we go. This is the second round. Ray, you're raising the blue trunks, and you're just going to town, man. I mean, bunches of punches. That's what I loved about you. You're always an action fighter, always good to watch. You never took a round off that I noticed anyway, but if you did, you still pumped that jab out.
I didn't realize I threw so many punches too. I was sparring with Joey Gamache when he was world champion. I was preparing him for his fights, and they sent me home after one day.
Wow.
You hit him too many times?
They honestly said, you throw too many punches. Here's your $1,000. Go home.
Wow. Wow. That's the one Antero Gotti gave him a brutal knockout, right?
But Gotti never look. I'm gonna be honest. When I fought Oscar De La Hoya that night, Oscar De La Hoya never made weight. Neither did Gotti. Gotti didn't make weight.
No, you don't have to make weight when you're the A side.
Right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they didn't make that weight. And he almost killed Joey that night, man. Good God.
Yeah.
So Joey I love Joey as a trainer. But he was not great. Gave him a belt for somebody to win it.
Oh, that's the body shot.
Whoa.
You know what I noticed? In this fight? You hit him with a left hook to the body, right, Ray? But it was like a little delay reaction because when you hit him, you kind of moved and he moved and then he went down. So it was like he got hit and then it was like a little delay reaction in that. I seen that he was carrying his left elbow high. So I knew if I dipped to my left, I could throw that quick shot. I was trying to throw a double left hook. The second one missed him, but the first one got him. Oof, and then punch swinging. There was no way he was getting up to that one. So real quick, because we're way over. My producer Blaze Man has been amazing. Real quick, if you could have fought one fight with anybody, who would have been that you didn't get a chance to fight?
I wish I fought at that time Oscar De La Hoya, because at that time when we signed the contract, it was gonna be a big fight because we were both on our way up, and no one knew who was gonna win, honestly, because it was gonna be in Las Vegas. Like I said, it was $1.5 million. They were like, "This is gonna be a tough fight for both guys," my style and him, and my fault. I went to prison.
Wow. So Ray, I know you do. He's telling me we can go to 8:30. So let me ask you one more. Jeebus, I got so many up here, and I want to go because I know you work with young fighters today. And what are some of the qualities you look for in a boxer that you're training?
Foot movement, and right now, are they capable to get a punch? Do they really want to train? You know, foot movement. Everyone knows how to throw a punch because we're all born to fight. We come out of mother's womb crying. But can they be coachable? Can they be coachable in foot movement? I'm very big on foot movement and coachable.
Yeah. What are some of the most frustrating things when you're dealing with young people and working with amateur boxing?
They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. They say they want to learn, but they think they know everything. They're telling you how to train them.
Wow. Go ahead, Daryl.
No. They say who wants more time?
And everybody's saying, his sister says I do. Justin says yes. So they're giving us a little bit more time. We're going to go to 8:30. What do you think about taking emotions like aggression into the ring? Does it help or harm a boxer?
I was a total different fighter. I didn't take my emotions in the ring. I remember my last Golden Glove fight in a low auditorium. I had a friend of mine in the corner, and he was like, "This guy's talking junk about you. This guy's gonna do this." I looked at him. I said, "I'm a calm fighter, so you turn around and get the hell out my corner." I'm a calm person. I'm not a rah-rah guy.
Yeah.
Some fighters are, some ain't.
Hey, Ray, if me and Jerry had to fight in the championship, who you going with?
You. Daryl, wait. We're going 12 rounds. Hang on. No, I want to answer that.
No, it wasn't for you. It was for Ray.
Going 12 rounds. I want to know what you're going to do with the other 11. It's only going to take one round.
So, hey, Jerry, I'm going to sue you, Jerry. I'm going to sue you.
He says that. I tell him because me and Daryl become really close friends. When I talk to him, I'm like, Daryl, man, listen, 12 rounds. He looks at me. He's like, you know what? You fought me 12 rounds. Let me ask you something. What you going to do with the other 11?
That's the same thing I tell everybody.
Hey?
Everyone's like, yo, I'll go 12 rounds. I go 1.
Yeah. So, hey, look, if there was a place you could have fought, if there was a place you didn't fight that you wish you did.
Blue Horizon.
Blue Horizon. Remember the Blue Horizon in Philly, man?
I never fought
there.
Me too. I never fought there. And I always say this, though. Every Philadelphia fighter I fought, I knocked out. I think all my knockouts were Philly fighters.
Right.
Last one. How did Vinny Pazienza help your boxing career?
I love him. I can't thank him no much. He's the one that taught me. A lot of fighters, they want to fight, they can fight in front of 20,000 people. That's scary. And I remember when Vinny was doing his comeback and he fought at Providence Civic Center, and there were 20,000 people. He brought me upstairs and we're looking through the main pot and all the people out there, and he goes, "You want this?" And I looked at him and said, "Oh, I want this." He said, "You ready?" I said, "I've been ready." I said, "It's only that I want them all to boo me. If I could shut them up."
Wow.
I love when they boo me because I'm going to shut them up.
Wow. Ray, let me, because I know you would go into a few different gyms, training young fighters, helping guys out. You still doing that today? What are we doing?
I'm resting. My son was supposed to fight real soon, November 5th. He pulled out for his reasons that I don't understand. I don't like. And then yesterday when I went to the gym, I had 2 other fighters supposed to fight at the PAL, and they said they're pulling out. And when I'm giving more than my fight is giving, I think it's time for me to sit down and rest and think, is this something I want to do? Do I want to go to the gym every day and stare at the wall and when I could be home with my wife and my daughter and go to the gym, and I don't make people pay me. I go to the gym because I love boxing. I want to give back, and right now it's not worth it for me to go to the gym. Nobody wants it. There's somebody who does want it. They might knock on my door one day, and I'll open that door and give to them, and they might disappoint me. But you know what? I'll do it again. But right now, I'm going to sit back and wait for someone to call me or knock on my door and say, I'm your fighter. And I tell them, all right, prove it.
That's awesome. Ray, Daryl, Ray, thank you so much for being on. It's been an honor to have you on. And by the way, you need to get someone to write a book about you, man. Seriously.
I'm trying to.
The stories are amazing.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, I didn't say this during the podcast, man, but I was a big fan. You was a great fighter, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it goes right back to you, man. I'm a big fan of you. Watched you, always wanted to fight you. The best always want to fight the best.
And I know I wanted to fight you as well. I think you was because you was in between 140, 147, right? Something like that.
140, 135.
135. Okay. Right, yeah, I was 47. Yeah. So yeah. I was boxing with Reggie Green to get him ready for you because you're so tall, and I was the perfect guy to box for him. To box for Reggie.
Yeah, they want you up to wait and fight you, and I wanted you to come down the way.
Wow. Hey, we can do this again. We can do this again, man.
Nah.
They can't pay me enough.
I'm a big fan of his, man.
They can't pay me enough, man. I'm done. I do not want to get in the ring with nobody.
Great fighter, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Same here, man.
Great fighter, man. Great fighter.
Same here, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on. A pleasure to have you on. I love your openness and willing to talk about everything. I want to thank everybody out there for listening. Our fans and people that are watching are saying thank you, Ray. Thank you, guys. Great show. Thank you, Daryl. Great show. And it only happens when we can get the fans in. So share the video and things like that. What a great guy, man. Ray is
Ray was a great fighter, man. He was a great fighter.
Very honest. He's very honest. He doesn't hold back. And I think that's and Sharon says thanks, Daryl. I say thanks, Daryl.
Sharon.
But I'm not done. You can tell Sharon, but I'm not done talking to you yet. I think Ray's the type of guy. Ray's the type of guy that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I think that's what's missing in a lot of the sports, not just in. Sharon wants to know where you were earlier.
I just read it. I was at the barber shop. I was actually taking care of some business with the owner of the barber shop. He's a good friend of mine, and he took a little long getting to the shop, and I couldn't leave because I was actually watching the shop, and I couldn't leave until he got there. So I thought I was gonna miss the show, but then he actually came, and I rushed home to make the show. So I apologize, Sharon. I apologize.
All right. Is that a good answer? All right. And Justin says, amazing show. Justin, so much for watching. Look, real quick, Daryl, thank you so much for being on again. I know you rushed home. You were very busy. I want to thank Blazeman, the producer from behind the show. I want to thank all our listening and viewer audience. I want you to check out tomorrow's Side Draft with Justin, a great race show. You did not watch his show last week, and he did point that out in the comments before. You missed his show. No excuses. Don't want to hear it. We got the Rabbit Hole. We got Miss Tammy and Blaze show. So there's a lot of shows on FFN Radio Network. Check us out. We're growing. Neutral Corner is just one show on here. I want to thank again Daryl Too Sweet Coley for being on with us as usual. I want to thank my producer Blaze Man in the background. Without him, this doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Blaze, love you, Blaze. Thanks, Blaze.
Again, Ray, Sucra Ray Oliveira, thank you so much for being on. It was an honor. Everybody, good night, and thank you so much. We'll see you off here.
Is there any way you can lose? Yeah, if I don't show up. And that's the only way I can lose. And believe me, I will be there.
This is Daryl Too Sweet Coley, 38-2, 28 knockouts, former #1 welterweight in the world, on the Neutral Corner with Jerry Sosa.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
You won't do shit.